What's up? Alright, so so the gist of what I'm doing here is I had like 1,000 tabs open, and I'm trying to get it shortened. So right now I only have 2 windows. Before I had something like 20 windows, and what I did was I wrote this script, which basically, when you run it, it gets the browser's tabs, and gives me this JSON. So I took all these tabs and I wrote some code which reads the tabs and generates a file. Okay, and that file is here's an example. So what this is it's a wiki. So this is the command I ran. It's not really a wiki quite yet, but it takes the excuse me, the name of the category, and then the tags, which in this case are Common Lisp, CLHS, Lisp, Racket, Ches, Scheme, and it creates this category, and it just reads the name of the title of the tab, and I have all these categories, you know, so you can see how long this scroll bar is maybe, but so basically I have to do some tasks, one of which is there's some duplicate links coming about in the code, so it looks like it's not being removed, or extra links aren't being removed. So for example, Hold on. Okay. Someone wanted me to play their music, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna play their album. So anyway, I haven't listened to this before, but alright, so first what we're going to do is just going to walk through how this code works. It's pretty simple, but you know, if you don't know Lisp, it's kind of weird looking. So how this works is there's two files. Well, once you export your JSON, your tab JSON, you copy that to a JSON file. And then what you do is you have to evaluate this buffer. I'm gonna have it as a command, and you know, like as a module you can install and whatever. But for now, it's just a function. And then an example command would be org wiki generate the file that has your tabs, and then the file that has your categories. So this is the file that has my categories. This is a JSON file with two kind of tags in here, I guess. Windows isn't being used right now. I was thinking that maybe I could also experiment with persisting a browser session so that you could open the browser with, say, a specific category in it. So if I wanted to open up my C++ session, I would basically be taking all the links in the C++ category and then opening a browser window with all of those tabs in it. So I was thinking about that, but I don't think I'm going to do that quite yet. But anyway, how it works is there's four filtering tags, right? Which is, one of them is the name. Actually, sorry, the name is just what displays in that page. So this is the name, right? And then it prints the tags next to it, if there's any, the keywords. Thank you. And then there's also a domain filter. I listened to this song before. Anyway, so this is going to be filtering by the domain names that the link comes from. And then the last thing is URL patterns, which you can just throw any regex and it'll filter by that regex. So at the very bottom, it's sequential. So at the very bottom, I have this uncategorized category, and what that is it'll just take all the rest of their URLs and shove them in there. But it's not removing duplicates. So what ends up happening is it puts every single link down there, which is kind of you know, not good because then the document is all huge and whatnot. So anyway, that's what the category JSON looks like. So so this is an example file. It's kind of not really human readable, but this is just because if I really wanted to, I could even export this to like all these formats and whatnot. This is all org mode. So org mode is a mode for Emacs that lets you do all this kind of organization stuff. And but I'm doing this programmatically because manually doing this would have been a hellish kind of task. So the next thing I'm going to show you is kind of the logic that goes behind this. So this is an elisp, which is kind of an inferior Lisp. I know Emacs calls all other Lisps inferior, but it's not compiled, so kind of debugging it is pretty hard. There's no, you know, condition system like there is in Common Lisp. So whenever I hit an issue, it's kind of hard to deal with because, you know, normally dynamic typing isn't much of a hassle, but when it comes to elisp, you know, there's a debugger and everything, but it's not that good. So yeah, anyway, so what this does is it defines a function that takes the JSON and for both the tabs and the config. The config is this file, the categories example JSON file. This file is the config, and so what it does is it parses the tabs, parses the config, and then from the parsed config it gets the categories, which is stored within the config. And so if we look at the parse functions, which are these two functions right here, I'll zoom in. These two functions right here, it just defines a JSON parser that outputs to a Lisp hash table. And once we have the hash table, we just return that hash table. In the case of the config parse function, we return an associated list, which is you know, a different type. But anyway, so the important part is that we get the tabs, config, and the categories. We don't really use the config. Well, we use the config to get the categories, but that's it. And then what we do is it runs a sequential algorithm for iterating through categorized tabs. And how it does that is I define an iterator here called categorize from tabs, which takes the categories and the tabs and defines a function which filters tabs into their applicable category. And so this iterator will yield a cons cell of a list of that given category and the tabs that are within that category. And then what it does is it prints an HTML block from that tab, from that category, and this is what outputs this right here, this HTML block from category. This is the output. And then what it does is I just do a basic loop which takes the filtered tabs, creates an HTML block from that tab, which just inserts the link with the icon next to it. And so that's what outputs here. And if there's no icon, then it's just a blank little square like you see. And it does that for each link. I could probably do this to a buffer and then copy the buffer to a file, but it's easier to do it in line because that buffer is already open. So you would run the function within the file you want the output to be in. And yeah, so that's the gist of it. So as far as the filtering logic goes, there's, like I mentioned, there's 3 ways of filtering. We have a blacklist. This is something I added in a recent commit. And what the blacklist is it'll take those links, or well, it'll take either an empty link or any of the like about config tabs or whatnot, and it'll, if it's in one of those categories, or sorry, in one of those patterns, then we just drop it. So this is a filter that takes a tab, verifies it's not in the blacklist, and then it does a conditional where if one of these conditions is true, the tab gets added to that category. So if the tab has the keywords that are associated with this category, which is, you know, done here, we do a sequential find on the tab title and verify it has that keyword. If it has at least one of those keywords, then it passes. If it's in the domain that the category has, or one of the domains, then it passes. If it's in the URL pattern, then it also passes, but only one of these conditions is needed. So yeah, that's the gist of it. Feel free to ask any questions if you're confused. So okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to remove duplicate links, which is a problem right now. So I thought this was sequential filter, or sorry, it's not a sequential filter. Why did I say that? It's sequence filter. And so sequence filter takes a sequence. In this case, it's the uncategorized tabs, set of uncategorized tabs. And it filters to only return those of those category, but it doesn't remove those tabs from the uncategorized tabs, and that's what I want. I have to see if there's a some sort of function that mutates the sequence. So I'm not a Lisp expert, you know, so I'm just kind of reading the docs, but okay, yeah, so we actually want to do sequence remove. This will give us the list back, but it will remove the sequence. Oh wait, actually, it returns a list of all the elements in sequence for which predicate returns nil. So we only want to run through this filter call once is the thing, so I could I don't know. Maybe it's I lost it. Where'd it go? Oh, there we go. So yeah, filter and remove. I need that basically one function, but no, I don't think there's a mutating counterpart. So we'll have to process the list multiple times. So what we'll do is that I guess we have to do the sequence unique as well, because we want duplicates removed. But that's sort of difficult given that how it measures uniqueness, it's going to have to compare the hash to another hash. And that could be expensive computation-wise. So I don't think that's going to be what we want to use. We'll probably have to write our own version of sequence unique. And then so let's see, maybe there's okay, well, we could write our own function that mutates, but I don't know if that's a good idea. Alright, well, so I think the ideal thing to do we should take the filtered list and we'll get the difference. So, okay, we're gonna have to refactor this. Let's go ahead, let's turn this to a let. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this right here. And actually, I want to do this one more wrapping. And we're gonna call this the filtered tabs. We're gonna make this a filtered tabs. Okay, and then so once we take the filtered tabs, we'll be able to get the new uncategorized tabs, and so I don't know if we should do this as a sequential let star or not. Maybe. Well, actually, the problem is this is our lexical scoping, right? So the reason why is because I guess iterators in elisp need to be lexically scoped, which I guess makes sense. So, but anyway, setting uncategorized tabs to a new variable, new value, is kind of what we're aiming for. So we will kind of see if we can do that. One of the possibilities is we could pass the new uncategorized tabs into the next call, the filter tabs function. But the trouble with that is that it's kind of a well. It really wouldn't be that. It wouldn't really fit into how we're doing this, because you know, the do list in this case is like in the let right here, so it makes sense just to kind of like mutate and categorize tabs basically. I want to see actually if there's a version of, because I mean, ideally you want it to be immutable, but at the same time it's kind of inefficient in this case because there's like 1,000 of them. So alright, well, we're just gonna have to peruse the documentation, I guess. Alright, so yeah, let's just do that. Let's do that. We don't need to really add any more to the let besides the body of the let. Right? That's the body. Yep. and we're just going to set Q. And then we're just going to return that filtered tabs right here. So we're going to set categorize tabs. That'll be good. Oh, there is a. I don't know. Oops. It's weird that for some reason I'm getting those doc hints where the I should be getting that. Oh, it's in the lower left corner, by the way. This lower left corner. Yeah. Oops. Okay. So that's weird. It's not doing that. What about and? Does it do for and? Oh, that's weird. That's kind of odd. Maybe I need like company mode or something. I don't know. Then the correct mode. This mode. Oh, what's the problem? I don't know. Oh well. Can't do anything about it right now. Alright, so we're gonna set the uncategorized tabs to the difference. Uncategorized tab and the filter tabs and anyway. Okay, so hopefully this gets rid of duplicates. I don't see why not. Oh, we got one parenthesis, great. Alright, so that should do it. If not, then someone will point it out, maybe? I don't know. I doubt it. Oh, that indentation is just terrible. Wonder if there's a way we can get around that, maybe? Oh, if I do that, it's gonna be even worse. Oops. Yeah. Okay, that's unacceptable. So, not sure what to do about that. Well, that's kind of disappointing. Maybe that one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the best way to yeah would be. Maybe something like that. No. I wonder. I just wanted to have as little indentation as possible right there because that's a bit silly to me. Alright. So, did someone say anything about it? Nope. No one knows Lisp in this, I don't know, maybe like a few people. I don't know. Anyway, so we'll see if that works. And again, like I said, it's kind of crappy to debug in elisp because the debugger is slow and it sucks. So, alright, I have to I just delete it because it's not really that valuable to have the old versions of the org mode file, but looks like it froze on me. Great. Oh, that's weird. I guess I didn't go through. Okay, so right, we're just going to compile this function and oops, go through it again, and yeah, we don't get any response. Yeah, that's a major problem, is debugging elisp. So, alright, I'm gonna check friends. Nothing wrong there. I wonder what's wrong there. Okay, so yeah, it goes through the first category, and it looks like it didn't return any tabs at all. That's kind of odd. Let's go ahead. Let's just see what it's doing. Yeah, so filter tabs is nil. Right. Let's see why. Yeah, that's weird. Well, the conditionals didn't change, so I'm assuming it's something to do with, I don't know, the syntax of the lit or something, or maybe it's comment that out. Compile. I'm sorry, reevaluate. And still nil. So yeah, that's no good. I didn't spell something wrong, did I? I don't know. That's kind of odd. So, anyone have any guesses? I think it's, yeah, it's still, that doesn't work for obvious reasons. because it thinks filtered tabs is a symbol at that point. Right. Okay, so we got all the categories working this time. Still, the filtered lists are null. At least it loops through now. It says nil 9 times. Great. Alright, so new album. Okay. Yeah, the only thing not comfy about this is stupid stuff like this. So it doesn't help that I don't get my little help message down here. I don't know why that is. What is the? I wonder what the. Is it just Lisp mode, or what's the mode? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was talking about the messages that are down here. They weren't showing. I was in Lisp mode, not in Emacs Lisp mode, so it's. That was a problem. For that, anyway. Yeah, so this is just the var list. So tab JSON is definitely here. That's odd. What else? Well, let's do something. Let's look at the git diff and stuff. Yeah, no changes. So so either this condition isn't passing or this isn't. Oh, this is wait, no, that should be working. I thought for a second I was like, oh, it's assigning it to a lambda and it's not executing the function, but I think it is. Anyway, let's see. Could be just not executing. Yeah, still nil. I was just a random guessing at that stage, but so filtered tabs is nil. How does, do we have any other mentions of that somewhere? Oh, here we go. Duh. Yeah, right here, filtered tabs. So maybe the scoping is all messed up in the macro, you know. We're not using that anywhere. That'd be kind of funny if that fixed it. No, it didn't. Of course not. It's lexically scoped. So, that wouldn't make any sense. But, no, that's kind of a weird thing, I guess. But is it actually even getting here? That's everything. Oh. Oh yeah, it is. So it definitely goes through the tabs, as you can see. It's doing all the checks and stuff, but this condition isn't passing. Is it just because of a regex that I have here? Is it? I wonder if it's that one. Maybe I'm just dumb, and that was it. Okay. No, that wasn't it. Really? Yeah, that's odd. So, because I wanted to make sure there's no blank links. Tab has keywords. Whoa, why is it doing that? Ah. Oh wait. I don't want to. Well. Alright, yeah, so the tabs are definitely there. No one has any idea. That's kind of funny. Oh well. Well, we kind of have to solve that. So. Yeah. Category tabs. So what am I looking for? There. Is my category example file listed? No. What? It works without the let binding, oddly. So. I wonder if that's new. Page. Yeah, I know the category gets through, so. Come on. Damn it. Okay. I may have done some kind of like buffer overflow or something. Yep, that's what I did. Not fun. Oh well, I'll just restart it because there's nothing to do. Sometimes I hate Emacs. Yep. Well, I wouldn't say I love Emacs. I'd love it if it didn't do that like all the time, you know? Probably. Yeah. Alright, yeah, so So what could be causing that condition not to pass? I don't know. Why is it doing this? Okay, so we're gonna try it with the stash version. Sorry, with the old version. And so yeah, it looks like it does the same thing on the stash version, so that wasn't just me just now, I guess. It's really odd. What? How the hell? So this worked before, which makes it kind of like really odd. So I probably changed something last minute, or files aren't there. Yeah, like it's all new and stuff, but super weird, basically. Huh. I don't know if that was. Oh. Oh, so it wasn't that. I think I did something here where I screwed up or something. Basically, this worked like just yesterday. And the odd thing is, it doesn't make any like changes. Emacs, why do you freeze all the fucking time? Literally all the fucking time. Jesus Christ. This isn't a very good advertisement for Emacs, you know? It's really not. You know, I don't know what the problem could be, you know? Like, imagine you just have code that works one morning and then, oh, here we go. It's working now. So then, did I just have like the old function defined and that's what, as opposed? So I'll apply the stash and then I guess it won't work. But yeah, I wanted this to be more comfy, but stupid errors. Yeah, it still works. Alright, so it is the stash. Okay, so it does work. That's weird, right? Yeah. What? Yeah, I can't really explain that. Like. But now, I mean, hopefully, let's try. Where's this? So we go to uncategorized section. Okay, we shouldn't see. Let's take an example. Okay, so take C++, for example. Is there any all the way down here? Nope. So you guys see that? Like, what? That was weird, right? Okay, well, I do notice. Let's see. Yeah, no, so that was kind of weird. There's this, I don't know if you guys saw that, but basically it wasn't working, like, at all. Then I just restarted Emacs and it started working again. I don't know if it's something, like, to do with some old code, or if it's something else, but, yeah, someone just asked, can you slam your keyboard any harder? Yeah, this is like it's like an Atemo blue keyboard, which is basically the same thing as cherry blue. So it's quite loud, I recognize. Anyway, so that works now. That was kind of weird. I basically just spent all that time debugging it for no reason. I should have just kind of known that it wasn't the syntax at all. But you know, sometimes I'm surprised. This can go away. So that was retarded. Because like, obviously this was right. It was like, oh, maybe, you know, there's something, I don't know. What happens? That was at least like 20 minutes, wasn't it? So, yeah, let's just commit this then. So that task is complete. We can begin on the next task, which is I don't know what the next task is actually. We could do some optimization, but that'd be pretty useless. So instead, let's oh yeah, so the next thing I wanted to do was I wanted to be able to merge two sets of JSON tabs, JSON files. And so the reason why is because I have this first JSON file, and then I also have another one. And basically I want to be able to use both in the same kind of like set. So what I should do is make a kind of unique property. So when we assign uncategorized tabs here, instead of just copying the sequence, we should do some kind of function which takes the uncategorized tabs and unique only, filter unique only, I don't know, filter unique. So yeah, I use Spacemax because I didn't want to mess around with Emacs config so much. The only disadvantage of this is, well, the huge disadvantage is that Spacemax is much more prone to crashing, and it's kind of unstable. So yeah, I have a .spacemax file, but I don't have a .emacs file. I'll probably switch back to Emacs, to be honest. Just space Emacs. Yeah, I think it was the cache. It's stupid because I spent 30 minutes debugging something that wasn't a problem. Oh well. Anyway, alright, so oh, what am I doing? Oops. What? Filter unique. And so we're going to define that function. So here are all the properties, and we're going to define this tabs. And what this is going to do, we're going to put new tabs. I don't know how we want to do this. Let's do it through a map. I think that would be good. I'm gonna look at trying to look for we go mapping functions. Alright. Okay, map. Oh, that's right. There's barely any map functions in base Lisp. That's kind of unfortunate. Alright, yeah. I think it's in cllib, right? Right? I'm gonna search this wiki that I have. Oh, this is the old JSON file with barely any thing in it. That's right. Alright. This one? Yeah, here we go. No. No, I think we can just use regular map. Yep. And tabs. Oh. Tab. Oh. Not car. Tab. Not doing that. Yep. Alright. And so what we want to determine is which tabs have already been kind of like looked through, or sorry, have the same like exact URL and whatnot. So what we're gonna do is we just want to extract I don't know actually, is there a better way to do that? Yeah. let's just look for tab URL. Let's see. So we need to take the tab URL, and we're just going to have a master list of the tab URL. Then once we get the tab URLs, what we'll do is tab URLs. What? Why did it let me do that? Okay. So it gets the tab URLs as that. Okay. Sorry, my editing style is kind of messy right now. So we're going to just get the tab URLs out of there. And what that's going to be is git hash URL tab. And it's going to loop through all the tabs, get every single URL it can, or that has one, every tab that has a URL. It's not going to apply a filter to it. Technically we could just get rid of the blacklist, or get rid of each blacklisted pattern then, but let's see. So we have all the tab URLs at that point, and then I think we're gonna want to have the tabs unique. Unique tabs, so it can be map. And instead of getting that, we're going to actually loop to tab URLs. Actually, tab URL, we want to it's set unique. Yeah, there we go. So you see how that works? We're taking the unique of those URLs, and then the unique tab is basically going to be a filtered version. So filter where the predicate is a lambda that actually we don't need it to be in the scope of a sequential let. We can simply end that let and return the filtered unique tabs. And we can filter based on the lambda, which takes a tab and returns if that URL. So set oh, okay. Well, that's kind of dumb, I just because you need to keep track of how many times each tab is used and whatever. Okay, so what I'll do is, we'll take the, so once we get the unique tabs, we're going to, or tab URLs, set, we can create a map, which is a mapping of the tab. So that's a sequential let for sure. Tab URL's usage is going to be a no, wait. Okay, so this will just initialize a list of tab URLs and their usage. Mapcar takes the tab URLs and alright, so we'll filter the tabs and let early usage equal. Alright, so let URL usage be usage for that specific URL, and that is going to be this is basically a massive list of the tab URL and the number of times it's used, and so well, actually, that's kind of useless. What we could do, instead of doing that, we could just increment the usage. do that. Let's just say so if what? I don't want to do that. I just want to. That's right. So if we find the used URL, then we'll just return actually we want on this. Okay, that finishes that. So, how this works, we take the unique tab URLs, we make an empty list called used URLs, and then we filter for a tab, and unless the URL has already been used, then we return that tab. So we're gonna have to actually we'll have to loop over the used. Sorry, we have to assign used URLs as well. Is it append? tab. And we push it. Not only do, well, actually I need to see if push returns something. So I don't know if it returns it, so I'm just gonna might as well just return that tab there. And oh yeah, we want the return tab, not the URL anyway. So that will return the tab. Actually, no, we don't need to return the tab. What am I on about? Because it's a filter, it'll already return based on the conditional. So based on the conditional, which is if there's that tab's already been used. And yeah. Alright, so we have that done. Let's close those parentheses properly and reformat that. And we can test this. So instead of just running the entire thing again, I'm just going to eval that region. And I can test here. So first let's make a hash table. I'll just make this a variable. Let's call this example tabs, and this will be a made hash table. And cool, we have that. So let's go ahead and let's set f. Let's get hash for well, actually example tabs is supposed to be a list. That's my mistake. Oops. Oops. Oh well, let's just define a new one. Alright, so, oh yeah, the empty list is nil, that's right. Oh, is it? So we're going to set up, push two example tabs, and made hash table. So forget how to do like initial arguments for this. Kind of a noob. Let's describe that function. Yeah, it looks like I can't in the make hash table code itself, so I'll just define that as a alright, so there's a hash table in there. Sample tabs. To the what would you say? Get F. So this would just assign it to itself. What I want to do is I do a set F within there. Get hash. No, I don't need to do a nested setup. What am I doing? Get hash. Actually this is tab, so alright, let's go to the hash table documentation. Well, it's put hash, that's right. Well, what? Oh, duh, dumbass, it's car, not Kadir. Alright, so now we have a hash table of that's an example tab, and so what we can do is we can try that function out, filter unique tabs, and excuse me, we're just gonna pass in example tabs and see what happens. What is it saying? Wrong number of arguments. I don't see any wrong number of arguments, but filter unique tab. So tabs. Let's see. Which function is it referring to? Ah, right here. Wait, no. Alright, yeah, that was just mismatched parenthesis. Alright, and running the function gives us the same output. Great, now we want to put hash on the cadre of that list. So what we're going to do is we're going to push another hash table onto that example tabs list. And now we have two hash tables. It looks like push does it do that to the front? Yeah, it pushes it to the front. That's interesting. Okay, so now we're going to run the same thing. Where on the car example tabs, we put the same URL. And now, they both have the same URL. Now what should happen is that when we filter them, filter unique tabs, we get one output. And that is true. So, or that is shown to be true. So, our function works. Great. Basically, there's not much more to do. We've already added the filter unique tabs call here. And so, what that will do is return a brand new set of tabs that are unique. Great, so we completed that. Remove duplicate links. Task. I said I'd finished that earlier, but I think that was just because basically uncategorized tabs. Yeah, duplicate links between categories is what we fixed earlier, between categories. And then now we remove duplicate links. Duplicate tab entries. So that's two different things. Duplicate links and duplicate tab entries, because we do not want multiple entries of the same tab. Awesome. Sorry if that wasn't clear what I was doing there, but yeah, I kind of realized that in order to merge two sets of tab JSON files, I need to basically make sure I don't have all those duplicate entries, because I would have a lot of duplicate entries, because my tabs2 JSON file isn't that much different from my tabs1 file, or tabs.json file. They're not that different. They have maybe 100 or so different tabs. And so what we're also going to do is we're going to call filter unique tabs on a merged single tabs file. And so what we could do is so this takes a tabs JSON file and a single tab JSON file, this org wiki generate function right here. I'll go ahead and close this right here. So this takes a single file and outputs the generated text and so on. But we want to merge two files, so what we could do is we could just refactor this to have the ability to take multiple tabs JSON arguments, and this will allow you to merge those files. So what we'll do is we'll change this config to be config JSON here, and then we'll have rest. We'll call that tab JSON. And what this will do is we'll be able to take multiple JSON files. Let's do that. So let us review how REST works in elisp. Blah, 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 blah. Optional arguments, optional. A list of 0 or more extra arguments. Rest before one final argument. And that will be a list. One or more arguments. Okay. And tabs JSONs. Kind of weird. Alright, so this will have to be refactored then, because we have multiple JSON files. I'm going to just undo what I generated earlier. And so what this is going to do is we'll have to move this around a bit. And we'll also do that. We have tabs2.json and tabs.json. So we have two JSON files with tabs in them. And so just making sure I'm staging. Okay. Alright, yo. This is not a web app. No, it's not. That's kind of funny. No, this is a sorry, I didn't even show that for a while. This is what I'm doing. So I had like over 1,000 tabs open at one point. So what I'm doing is this little file here, which will give me these categories where I can just kind of search through my old set of tabs, because I don't want to lose all those tabs, you know. But I never bookmarked anything, and because I found bookmarks to be just pretty much useless, because you know, you're operating on like, your mind operates on like so many well, like when you get into the flow of it, you're doing all these searches and stuff. You don't want to like bother with closing all those tabs and so on. So yeah. So anyway, so what we're doing right now is we're trying to merge two sets of tabs, which I have in tab.json and tabs2.json. And what we'll do is we'll have to merge those hash tables. So let's go ahead, let's see where that is. Alright, so hash, I hope there's a merge. Yeah, exactly. Someone just said, I find bookmarks way less hassle than just a bunch of tabs. Yeah, that's, I mean, it's true, but like, you gotta get over the fact that like, well, okay, what I mean is when you bookmark stuff, it's not really accessible, in the sense that like the bookmark manager in the browser is kind of like lame. Obviously I would have bookmarked everything had I known that it'd be difficult to kind of get out of that, but once you get sort of past 300 tabs or so, to then go on and like reorganize everything manually is really kind of painstaking. And basically with this script, since I got myself into that situation where I had so many tabs I needed to organize, since I had this script, I could literally take those old tabs, convert them into categories, and then convert them into bookmarks if I really wanted to. But I decided to just make my own interface for it, which is an HTML file, because this is an org mode file, so this is exported HTML. So like, org mode lets you export stuff. So in Emacs, basically, as soon as I have an org mode file of all those tabs, I can export it to HTML. I can export it to like plain text and all that other stuff. And that may not be useful like immediately, obviously, because I don't need all these formats. It's just kind of nice, you know. And I have a CSS file which just makes it look nice, and so it works better than tabs. And like with this, than bookmarks. And with this, I'm gonna add like a search tool. So I'm gonna embed some JavaScript which can like let you filter tabs and stuff. Obviously, you can, like if I wanted to search for something here, like let's say I'm looking for a tab I had open before or something, I can either like go to the category where that tab is. That reminds me, actually, I need to have some kind of top level navigation. Let's do this. Okay, so I can have some kind of top level navigation also as well. And so if I, if I wanted to go to the graphics section, all my graphics tabs are here. And eventually I'm going to have it so that, well, if I decide to do it or not, I don't know if it'll be worth it, maybe I'll have a button right here that will open all these tabs in a new browser window. So these will be actual sessions. So as soon as, like, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of emulating or copying what the add-on Storybook Pro is doing. So this add-on was really good. Storybook Pro? Yeah. Is it Storybook? Storybook Pro? I don't know. Anyway, it's this add-on that I had before, but or Scrapbook. Scrapbook Pro. Scrapbook Pro. Scrapbook X is the newest one. Okay, here we go. So this one's not compatible with Quantum, Firefox Quantum, and I have all those folders and stuff. It has a lot of cool features. Like they're like bookmarks, but you can like annotate stuff. You can add notes. You can do all that sort of stuff. I don't plan to get it quite to that level. Oh, this isn't like. Is there anything in English? Yeah, here we go. And it saves it actually like as an HTML file, which is cool. So I'm probably gonna take a lot of code from Scrapbook, or at least the web extension version, and adapt it to like generate org mode files and so on. So that way I can maybe even use the data set in Scrapbook, and I can export the Scrapbook data set to org mode. So there will be like a wiki form of browsing the categories, and then there's also kind of like a nested folder way of navigating it, possibly. Because the disadvantage of what I'm doing right now is I can't save static HTML. I can only save the link. So this link isn't stored on my computer as HTML, which is useful for like documentation, because the issue I have, for example, like with a site such as what's that? C++. So here's the C++ category. If the issue with I have with a website such as cppreference.com is that it loads pretty slow, and I have about 32 gigs of RAM, so basically I'd love to be able to just have all of these tabs open without any JavaScript enabled, so that way I can literally just search through my cached repository of all those documentation pages and have, you know, documentation right at my fingertips rather than like Googling and Googling and Googling around. And yeah, sure, I mean, like, I should be memorizing more of this stuff, but this will make it easier to memorize stuff, basically, is that when I'm trying to learn something, I don't have to aimlessly kind of keep searching for the same site over and over again. And yeah, I was thinking maybe I could do it like a database. I could turn it into a database, but I don't know. That's kind of way overdoing it, probably. Okay, so let's go back to this. Oh, we wanted to figure out how to merge two hash tables. I hope that there's that a method of doing that. So merge. I don't think there is. Maybe there's a function we can use. Well, there we go. Ah, okay. Here's a good one. Missing hash table library for Emacs. Wonder if this is Alright, so yeah, we'll do that. Okay, oops, I have to minimize. I will install this because they have a method for merging hash tables. Well, actually, we might just want to merge like the JSON itself, because then we'll be parsing two massive JSON files and then merging them. I wonder if there's a like in the JSON we're using. Oh, sorry, JSON is merge. I wonder if there's a merge. Oh, that's a Python module. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to require Python in this stuff. I guess, I mean, we'll just have to compromise. We'll just have to encode both and then merge it. Because, like, we're not handling duplicates at that point in the process. We, anyway, so we're going to require, what is it called? HT. Cool. Alright, so that should be good. And then since we're changing up how we do this, we are parsing tabs, parse tabs. Okay, so what we'll do, oh, music, no more music. I know what I'm gonna do for the next song or whatever. Let's see. Alright, cool. So we'll just loop through the list. For that, we're gonna use CL loop. Alright, for tab JSON and so we're gonna loop from each JSONs. Then I'm gonna collect parse JSON, parse tabs rather of tabs data, which is tab JSON. Cool. And I think that's right. Collect, right? Let's do that. Oh man, alright. Put that on another line. I'm gonna play this song again also because I like this one. It's a really good song. I got a little embarrassed when I played it at first because I was like, oh man, I'm streaming. You know, it's been a few weeks or so. I don't know. So parse config. Alright, so yeah, we parse tabs, but it's not parse tabs anymore. Alright. Let's just try it out. Alright, it didn't work. Great. Wrong window. Yeah, that's a click. I think maybe that's... I think it's nil or something. Probably will debug on error. Alright, okay. Okay, this maybe something to do with cache again, so I'm gonna save this desktop file. Was that happened to me last time? I don't know why. There's probably... Oh, I deleted my... Oh, no, that wasn't it. Why did I do that? Come on. You screwed up my entire window. What the fuck? Alright, so it's definitely looping over it, but yeah, what the fuck? So hypothetically, okay, it does work. Boy. Wait, what? So it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the uniqueness change that I made. Probably. Oh yeah, wait, no, duh. These aren't merged. Right. Okay, I'm dumb. So, what is it called? HT merge. Cool. HT merge. Maybe that's how it works, right? Alright. No. Right? I don't know. Let's see. What? Wow. God. Oh, Helmberg. Great. Okay. Nope. Okay. Wait. How do I... I forgot. What? Nope. I forgot. Damn it. Ah! Oh, duh. Wait. Okay, there's a simple way to do it. Yeah. Alright, great. Is there anything I'm missing here? I don't know. So Yeah, what is it, why isn't it giving me that message? That's kind of weird, right? I don't get it. So, why is it doing that? Anyone have any guesses? Because we did kind of see that it did work. So I'm going to it does return a hash table, so... Oh, duh, I'm a dumbass! Oh, what the fuck? So like, their list, they're not, their list of hash tables, not... Duh. Their list of hash tables, not hash tables. Yeah, duh. See, I don't even need that library at all. Sometimes I kind of just roll without an idea. Not really thinking. Probably not too good. So wait. Why is that not working now? All tabs should be a list of 2 lists. What? Yeah, that should work. Appends the list to another list. Returns that list. So, the thing is then it would only work for 2. That's another thing to consider. So, I want kind of like a nested append or something. Is that only a pen? Oh yeah, duh. Wait. Okay. Come on now. Alright, then why isn't it? Alright. So filter unique tabs. Is that the issue? Because it's not even getting in. Actually, it's not even getting in there. It's like kind of just failing at the let, which is weird. Like it won't do a message here. Like that's super weird, right? Oh. See, it doesn't do any message at all. So I have to do something like that. No. What's it? Right here. Okay. So it doesn't get in there. For some freaking reason. Yeah, I don't know. All tabs should be equal to that, and tabs should apply append all tabs. Okay, so they're definitely strings. All tabs is definitely defined. Makes me wonder. So, what about filter unique tabs? Is that well, I don't want to message that. I just want to. Doesn't get in the binding. So is that just due to what does that do to? Nope. So this should just paste all of frickin' tabs. And why is it doing that? Why is it printing the old one? It's still printing the old one. Why is it doing that? What am I coding in that? Yeah, I'm sort of interacting. I just check it every like 10 minutes or so though. I'm building it's like a wiki, you know? So it'll categorize my tabs and stuff. Okay, so that's very confusing. I'm gonna just restart Emacs again. If that helps. I'll have to look it up whether or not. Okay, so yeah, no, never mind. So it does print tabs. It's a list of those two lists, just like as I expected. So applying append to it should append it to the same list. So yeah, that should. Well, let's do that, and then might as well. I think I just get I get messed up when it comes to like quoting stuff. And it looks like Emacs is kind of being a dickhead with certain things. So right now it's saying all my stuff is nil again. And I saw that problem last time by just like quoting Emacs. So, which is odd. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm not stupid, right? I know that it's not to do with Emacs, it has to do with some like, you know. I don't even need this library anymore. Okay, so it is just messed up. So filter unique works, but then it's doing that weird thing again where it just loses the tabs. I don't know why it was doing that, and then it stopped doing it, and then it started doing that again. Like, is it just luck? No, it can't be. You know? That makes no sense. So somehow the Is it the format of the... I don't know. But it has that same problem again, where categorized tabs is nil. So uncategorized tabs is definitely but this is ridiculous. Same problem as before. And when I restarted Emacs, it worked. But this time I restart Emacs and it doesn't work. Great. And this has to probably do with like some kind of, I don't know, scoping issue, or I don't know what it could be. Because it's a list of hash tables, you know? Well, you know what? I don't. It's weird because it's just like I'm not sure what to think, because I think it's like storing an old version of that function somewhere, you know? Because it's not just the dynamic nature of it, it's also just that like the let binding isn't working. Like what the fuck is with that, right? Like we have categorized tabs, and how does it become nil all of a sudden? Because like what the fuck, right? What? What next? Alright, okay, so there's definitely a problem. The odd part, the odd part is that the odd part is that nil doesn't like print until here, whereas like before, I think if it was nil, I would. Because, you know, like, in this case, I kind of wanted nil, because sometimes you'd have a category, like, let's say there's no matches, right? If there's no matches, then you kind of want that nil there. But here, the strange part is that the nil doesn't appear until the very end. So... but I don't know, because see, the iterators shouldn't be like, I'm thinking like maybe it's a scope problem or something, but the thing is that lexical binding is enabled, so there's no like name, you know, problems. I mean, it's not really like a problem with the type, it's more so like the let binding isn't working, right? But like if you go back a little bit in the stream or whatever, or maybe you were watching, I don't know, like that happened, and then what happened was I just restarted Emacs and it was working. So so we definitely tested filter unique tabs. We change it to fucking Adam. No, I thought, okay, so well, no, categories would be defined because that's the only thing that's printing or whatever. See, I just compiled that. Oh no, I evaluated it, and it's still probably using the old version. Okay, now I know it's the new version because it took all that time to print. So the hash table is definitely there, as you can see. I'm sorry, the list of hash tables. And then, I'm gonna do something crazy. Let's see. Okay. So that's weird. It's weird, yeah, the tabs is there, okay. So yeah, the tab's a hash table. It has all the information. It's definitely looping through the tabs. The problem is just this fucking let binding. I don't know why it's not doing that. There's probably like a bug or something. Let bindings, Emacs. Maybe it's the blacklist again where I put the empty string. Oh. That's kind of weird. Well, that wouldn't really... Yeah, no, that would do it, I think, but... What is it? So... Yeah, I guess so. So any regex, okay, so yeah, I guess that makes sense. And then what if I wanted to make it? So that's kind of my fault. I should have suspected that, but I didn't. But now the only thing is I think dev var is kind of messed up because yeah, it doesn't fucking. So it turns out I'm just retarded. Damn it. I hate when that happens. So it works. But the blacklist is no longer... What? Oh, that's the fave icon. Never mind. So I'm kind of just stupid, I guess. Okay. Cool. So that's all good. So if I wanted to have it for an empty... I don't think you can have an empty tab, can you? But that's not about blank anyway. Right? Is it about blank? Yeah. Blank. So yeah, I'm just, that was kind of stupid, but, yeah, it wasn't about the nil, it was just because, I stupidly put the empty string in the blacklist, which means that any string would pass that test, so I need to make it... So what is it, like, is it that? No, that's start. Register. I think, what's the not? Not. So not and... Oh, what? Not any string. I just want no string. Not any string. Oh. What? Oh, duh. So, Emacs has this, like, weird... Well, it's not really... I mean, it makes sense, but it's just kind of dumb. Oh, that's for a single character. You can't do that for, Well, yeah, no, fuck. I just gotta look this shit up. For anything other than an empty string. No, I want... Fuck this, man. That's like... So... So like, I just want, it's not anything. Nope. The reason it has to be regex is because the blacklist, like, is just a list of, those. I mean, I guess I could, like, like I could make these functions, you know, that are pre-applied, but then I can't, like, reuse this matches zero pattern, kinda, so. But anyway, let's just make that about blank. Let's ignore that for now. Let's see how this output looks. Oh, about blank, okay, so there we go. This is the new one. So this one shouldn't have any duplicate links, and it should not have, well, it's getting kind of dark, isn't it? So it shouldn't have any empty links, and it doesn't have, or it's merged as well. So this is, I know this is new. This is my new, some of my new tabs. So I have finished that task. Cool. Commit that. Yeah, so the kind of issue where, okay, so I wasn't stuck on anything. Well, that's a lie. I was stuck on something before where, like, my code was bad just because I was, like, kind of dumb. Well, I wasn't dumb. It wasn't. I mean, but it was my fault. It wasn't elisp being stupid like I thought it was. It was because I was matching against the empty string as one of the blacklisted patterns, but since they're all regex patterns, a blank string will match any string. And thus all tabs were being filtered out of the list, and yeah, so the likelihood you'll have an empty tag that isn't about blank, or empty tab that isn't about blank, is very low. I don't think that's even possible. So someone asked, are you well versed in Common Lisp? No, I'm not. I would like to be, but it's kind of a huge language. I actually downloaded the Common Lisp standard as like a PDF file. There's a good one with like an index and everything. Or sorry, like chapters and whatnot. I would say I can be productive in it. It's just not like a language that I would consider myself well versed in. But I would say elisp is kind of inferior because it doesn't have a condition system. So like if something fails, the way of recovering the error is like you basically have to wrap everything in like unwind, protect, and whatnot, and it's just kind of messy. Probably I'm not doing any error handling here in my code because I wanted to kind of keep it clean, but that was kind of a, that's kind of a bad decision because I ended up debugging it and it's sort of hellish, but anyway, so that's working now. We're gonna do some top level navigation because it's kind of inconvenient to have to, So we'll just do this with anchor tags. Not anchor tags, but IDs. So for the category, so name has spaces in it. So here is name. So it also name also has special characters in it. So we'll take name, but then like kind of I don't know what we'll do with that. We want to remove special characters. We basically want an HTML ID, so you know, that's kind of difficult for a category like C++, where like C++ can't be an HTML ID, you know. So alright, so actually wait a minute. It's kind of embarrassing, but like with the anchor tag yeah, that's right. Okay. I haven't used like one of those because I usually don't make like static HTML files. But anyway. I didn't want to have to like regenerate it and like figure out that it's not right. Alright, there we go. I think that has to be escaped some hash. And then how do we want to take that category name into a tag name? I mean, most of these won't be a problem for that, though. The only one is this one where there's a space and... So... Okay. And then we also want to you know what, actually we'll just we'll have a different field for that because it'd be kind of bad. So we'll have name and then maybe like, what would you call it? Cause like I would generate it dynamically, but I don't know. It's just probably not a good idea. Plus, like then, cause like what am I supposed to do for this one, right? What? Just make the tag C, but then like what if there's a C category? You know? Then what? It doesn't take that long either. Might as well. See, there's kind of like a optimum balance between like manual editing and stuff and like doing something dynamically. I think it's like, cause you know, it's kind of like if you write a macro or something like in your editor to do something like pretty simple that, I mean, it's tedious, but like you can get it done faster if you did it that way, you know. Anyway. Oh wait, this is I keep running into the fucking wall. The navigation is like the first thing that gets printed. So yeah, so I'm making stuff. I don't know. I keep having to describe it. New people come on all the time. I'm just making a wiki for my tabs, you know, because I have like a ton of tabs open. So, alright, well, yeah, it's dark, huh? Okay. What time is it? Well, I'm probably gonna finish this navigation and then stop the stream, probably. 'Cause I really want to finish the navigation portion of the thing. Whatever. Categories. So basically it's going to be the same exact thing as this function, except it's not going to help with the keywords first off. Second, okay, it does the same thing except just outputs this header right here from categories. So we have to do this in the entire list, and I'm just gonna use do list because why not? You know. There we go. Okay, so for each category, this should just insert the navigation into it. Up here, we just do this in the block. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's get a really long function name. Oh well. I don't like these function names, but whatever. I mean, we're only calling it once, really. So after it does that, and then it does the rest of it. So in each category has a ref now. I know that's kind of I should probably do it dynamically ideally, but like it doesn't. Okay, we can turn the light on. So okay. So we're just gonna run this, see what happens. Okay, it failed. Great. So seems fine. What did we change here, huh? Okay, no errors. So that means that it's probably this method here, huh? Yeah, that's the thing, is like, if this is compiled, it would probably be like way easier to debug, you know? But it's not, so maybe I don't have to. And then what? Could be the JSON. What? I totally. saying that tools is has that again for some reason. Wasn't updated. Right, it's the JSON. There we go. Yeah, the JSON parser is pretty primitive in Lisp. So there we go. Okay, cool. So now if we export it, oh, that looks really messy, huh? Okay, and that's not working. Oh, it's not fully loaded. Oh, great. It's because it's trying to get a fave icon that's not loading. Is that why? Can I stop it? Stop. Oh. IDs can't have the little pound symbol. Cool. Alright. Awesome. So it works. So now I just clicked one of those links to jump to those categories and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna add some CSS and call it a day on that. So let's go over here. We're gonna call this. Oh, we need to give it a class. That's the well. Cool. Yeah, those fave icons take quite a lot to like. Cool. See, this is awesome. And you just click one of these and it'll jump into that category. Cool. See, like, this is cool. Yep. Alright, so anyone have any questions? Yep. Alright, stream's gonna end in about 5 minutes. So, but yeah, this was a good one. Basically, like, all the tasks that I wanted to do in the immediate process have been done. So, top level navigation and all this other stuff. It took about 3.5 hours, so that's not bad for like a Lisp newbie such as myself. Yeah, and most of that was just like I had a couple of problems that I thought were I think both problems I thought were just elisp being dumb, and it turns out it was just because of something that was my fault. That's, I mean, at least there wasn't a bug in elisp, because that would have been like really bad, right? Poor me finding a bug in elisp that hasn't been found before. Like, that would be worse. Okay. This code base isn't public anywhere, but I'm gonna publish it to, I guess I'll publish it. I don't know. Like, this is a problem that only I've really experienced. There's probably other people that have the same problem, which is exporting tabs, like massive amount of tabs, and converting it to this type of file. Oops. What? There's duplicate tabs, multiple tabs, just on books. Okay, that's awesome. Cool. So this is the finished output. It's not like super pretty, but oh, this isn't the finished output. Reload. Here's the finished output. It's not pretty, but it's all my open tabs, my 1,000+ tabs, with navigation towards each category, etc. And yeah. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this stream. I'm gonna be making more content. I won't be streaming tomorrow. Too much stuff going on. Maybe, I don't know. Sometimes I just decide to do it, you know. Anyway, thanks for watching. See ya.